if one person can do something, anybody else can learn to do it. That is the basic of modeling excellence. Have you ever said this to yourself that I want to powerfully break through to another level in my life? I want to leave back all my limitations, take consistent action, be successful in a way that is meaningful to me. I'm starting the Modeling Excellence series where I'm going to be interviewing some of my most successful students and people who inspire me to show you that there are strategies and means and tools and techniques powerful enough to catapult your life to the next level. I've designed this series in a way that you will be able to practically learn from people who have been able to 10x their results in a short period of time. My first guest on this show is Raji Iyer. Raji is a rapid transformative neuro coach, and she also is the co-founder of Heights Private Limited, which is a personal branding organization that focuses on mid-level executives, helping them build their brand as a person. Enjoy yourself as you watch these videos because you are going to get a sneak peek into people's life and a shortcut to success. So let's get started with Raji. Hi, Raji.
Hi, Seema. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
Most welcome. It's so good to have you here. And I've started this new series of, modeling excellence. And I thought I should invite you on this because you are one of those people who I've seen, has grown so much progress, so much. And when we speak about rapid transformation, you are one of the epitomes of that, right? So I thought, let me talk to you. And if one person can do something, everybody else can learn how to do that. So even I am curious about, what your journey has been. I know a little bit, but then I want to know more in detail. And hopefully everybody who's watching this video will be able to emulate, take some values, beliefs, etc. from you so that they can also follow the same path. So welcome again. So Raji, let's begin with you just kind of telling me a little bit about yourself and your journey. You are an entrepreneur and you have a personal branding, or you're a co-founder of a personal branding organization. Why don't you begin by just telling us a little bit about that?
Okay. Thank you so much for that introduction, by the way. It feels so warm, it feels so validating when you say things like this, and that too coming from you. It means a lot, Seema. And yeah, I've been a housewife for 15 years. All right, I have two kids, and just been so confused and not knowing where to start, what to start, how to do it. I always knew I wanted to do something. I always knew that, I was probably underutilizing myself and stuff like that. But I always wanted to start a business, but I just didn't know how. And finally, now my company has already started, it's registered.
Wow.
We are going to launch it soon. Yes, it is a personal branding company for mid-level executives, corporates, founders, entrepreneurs, because personal branding is such an important feature these days. You could be selling a product, but you as a person, you need to connect with your audience, and you need to know your target audience and the niche that you're actually working on. So it's a very relatable space for me, and I'm also happy that I'm able to learn and incorporate a lot of skills that I have learned from your workshop, which is a rapid transformation neuro coaching, because there's so many aspects of that which I brought into this. Communication being one, language being the second, the body language, how to calibrate, how to understand another personality, because many of them are strangers. So at a very short period of time, how to understand what your client really wants, what his or her true authentic brand voice is. So there are so many skills from your workshop I was able to even when I was coming up with the framework, I knew that I could do this even though I have no experience in personal branding myself. However, I could understand the psychology behind it because I knew the nuances about human behavior, and how people behave the way, and why do they behave in a certain way, what are their doubts, fears, insecurities, what are their strengths. So everything I was able to amalgamate thanks to your workshop, everything that I've learned over the years, and I was able to put it, and my journey has just started, and I'm so excited. I can't wait to see where this goes.
Absolutely. And I've been seeing that you've been having breakthroughs, series of breakthroughs. You started off saying that you want to be a coach with a lot of
Yeah.
self-doubt. And now you not only are you a rapid transformative neuro coach, you've also started your own organization of personal branding, and you've already started getting clients, if I'm not mistaken, which is pretty incredible. But let's start from the beginning. How did your journey begin? I would like to know, you said you've been a housewife for 15 years, so how was that journey? What were the struggles you went through there, and what actually helped you, want to change your life? Because that's what happens. A lot of homemakers, they are stuck for years and years in their state, and they're not able to take action. So there'll be a lot of my viewers who are women who are watching you today and wondering that, okay, what changed for her? What happened? How was it? And how did she get to where she is today? So would you like to throw a little bit of light on that?
Absolutely, it's my favorite topic. And if you actually look at it, it took me 15 years to take really solid concrete actions. However, the seed was planted 8 years back. So speaking about women who become homemakers, right? I had a career in HR and recruitment, and I gave that up because my husband was relocated to another country in the Philippines. We lived in Manila for 10 years. As it is tough, leaving your career and then making a choice to take care of your family, then going to another foreign country and not knowing anything there, it becomes even more tougher. So the first few years went in, this massive, downward spiraling of depression and blaming, and why am I doing this? This was not what I was born for. Why did I give
You
up
have kids.
everything?
You have kids as well, right?
Yeah. I have two kids. Then I had only one. My kid was just 8 months old when we moved to Philippines, and he was really small. I couldn't even. Yeah, that's the other thing, right? Being women, we are so. It's in our DNA to feel guilt to leave our child and go, and
Absolutely.
because even if you do it, you're always filled with guilt. Slowly, when the reality starts hitting you, and then I was just wondering, what the hell am I doing with my life? Then it then changed to blame, then anger, then bitterness, resentment, and then finally depression. which
Uh,
is
Tell
which
me
is how it works.
what according you've been there. So what according to you actually stops women from taking action or coming out of that quickly? What are those things that hold them back?
There could be several aspects. Number one is support. Sometimes I feel not all spouses are equipped. Not that they don't want to. I feel many spouses are not equipped to deal with situations like this. I remember my husband would say, you have to help yourself, and I didn't know how to help myself, and I needed that help. And he couldn't be consumed with trying to take out time to help me. He would just say,
Mm,
it's simple as that. Get your act together, go out, make friends, make a circle, do something that you want to do, be happy. I'm providing everything for you.
mm.
But that was
There was
not enough
something
for me.
stopping you from within. One word, like you said, was just not knowing how. For a
Yeah,
lot
I
of
just
people,
didn't know
just
what
not knowing
to
how.
do.
Yeah.
Because not for every woman going out buying things would actually give them that
That
satisfaction,
correct.
right? So much more than that. And one wants to be financially independent. Especially if you had a career before, and even if you didn't have a career before, you would like to do something by yourself. You would like
Yeah,
to
and
take those decisions.
one wants to be and one should be as well.
Yes, absolutely. That freedom to be able to buy small things, or one having to go. Not that it was ever not allowed or not given to me, but that whole empowerment comes from that freedom, and I just didn't know how to get my freedom. I felt trapped, and so there were so many factors that were going against me at that point in time. So yes, what was really also stopping me is then complacency sets in. Then with complacency comes fears, and then you just lose track. Yeah, you just don't know. You lose in touch with what's happening around you. I remember I became so technically backward. I forgot how to use PowerPoint presentation. I forgot how to use Excel sheets. These small things. If you're out of touch, you just lose
Mm,
practice, and everything started becoming so distant for me. So
mm.
these small changes, and then that has such a beating on your confidence, right?
Yeah, it's like
And
you rightly said, it's like a downward spiral. Once you get
it
into
is.
it, one thing leads to another, and then you find yourself deep in this rut where a person doesn't know how to pull themselves back out of that.
Right.
And if you think about it, it's not only for women who've gone abroad with their husbands, a lot of women who are here as well, and you rightly said many women even make this as a choice to give up their
Absolutely.
careers. There's nothing wrong with it. Yes, if one is completely happy and contented with being a homemaker, it is also very enriching and very, very
It is.
giving of a thing. But if one has a need of freedom, or one has a need of financial independence and self-expression and creativity, that takes a beating over a period of time. If you, especially if you made a choice to be like that, and I've seen so many women ask themselves that, why, I don't know, I did it, but now I have lost 8, 10, 15 years of my life, and I just no idea how to get out of it. And you seem to have done it. You seem to have come out of that downward spiral.
Yeah, thankfully, yes.
So what toll did this take on you, these 15 years of the struggle within, and not being able to express yourself in terms of your passion or doing what you've always felt you're destined to do? What toll did they take on your physical and mental health? You were mentioning about depression and
Yeah. I think that was the one of the major turning points for me, because then it just I just resigned to the fact that my life is no good, and started blaming everyone else, and the toll that depression takes on you, and then you just feel completely inequipped to handle anything anymore. You don't even think you're a good mother anymore. You're not good wife, you're not good at anything. And so then I remember there was a moment where I was actually, my husband told me, you need to go and see a psychologist. And on the way to the psychologist's office in the Philippines, there was a yoga studio. And something told me I should go into this yoga studio. Until then, I had never done any
wow.
yoga. And so I entered this yoga studio, and then uh, uh, I met with the owner, and she was very friendly. And then uh, so I think that change happened. It was not my drive to want to do yoga or anything like that. I think I was also a trainer in my career, and I felt talking in front of an audience, or talking to a large group of people, or teaching something came very
Mm,
naturally to me.
mm,
So then
mm,
I didn't even enter the yoga studio thinking that I want to learn yoga or become a student of yoga because of my. I
mm,
entered the studio thinking I should teach yoga,
mm.
because I thought that will give me an audience. I don't know how to do yoga, but I'll learn it and then I will teach it.
I teach it.
So that's what, so that moment of clarity I had, that this is what I will enjoy doing, gave me a lot of courage to do it. That's what I did next. I went to India, and I took up a course for 2 months, and I think that was the big turning point from me. And I started teaching yoga, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Then I started implementing a lot of things for myself. I started doing meditation. Nobody taught me how to meditate.
That's where your
Yeah.
upward spiral began, I
Yes,
guess.
yes.
Yes.
So that's why my journey started. Slow steps, baby steps, honestly. I started reading a lot, and that's when I came across NLP
So
for the.
even before we get to NLP,
Yeah,
let's just go back a little bit to that breaking point, that breakthrough point that you're talking about when you began yoga. You didn't intentionally choose it; it happened to you at that point in time, right? But one can intentionally choose as well, isn't it?
absolutely.
Somebody is stuck in a place. I've seen a lot of people who say that I feel stuck and I don't know what to do, because I guess a lot of times when we're stuck, we think of doing big things and it feels overwhelming. That going
Yeah,
from where I am, where I'm totally stuck, to a place where I'm suddenly envisioning myself doing big things, like I don't have the confidence, I don't know how to do it. It's very difficult. But doing one thing, like even entering a yoga, taking the courage to enter a yoga studio and say, okay, let me see, that's what actually changed, which means that just
absolutely.
one action can,
Yes,
it's like
one
that
step.
story. Yeah, that story that I always share about the person who is to complain to God, saying that, God, I need to win a ticket, you never let me win a lottery, you never let me win a lottery, I want to win a lottery. The beggar who kept telling God, and one day God came in front of him, he said, please buy the ticket, right? So that day you bought the ticket.
Yes, I bought the ticket. I really wanted to become a trainer, right? But
Hmm.
nobody will give me that job. So something told me, okay, oh, you can't train, or you can't teach someone in a corporate space. So do it somewhere else. So I
Hmm.
just found yoga as a tool where I can put myself out there and teach
That's
something.
something that you have
Yes,
within you, that urge that I
yes,
want to
yes,
train, I want to train a lot of
yes.
people, make a
Yeah.
difference. Wow. Mm.
So I think all women need to understand that one thing that they're really passionate about, and it could be executed
And men as
differently.
well, everybody
And men
actually.
as well, absolutely.
Yeah.
Everyone need to know that what they're truly passionate about. That's what we do in personal branding also, right? You need to identify what you're truly, that one thing that really makes you want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I started meditating, I started reading a lot of books on yoga and how it affects the mind, and certain changes I noticed in my behavior, because I was not so depressed anymore. In fact, I was not depressed at all. I knew that meditation was doing something, and then I was reading books on how the mind works, and then one book led to another, and of course YouTube. And I I would like to thank YouTube. I always call YouTube like my my bab, because at that time there was not so much exposure, right? You couldn't go take that many, and plus I was in the Philippines, there were not that many opportunities. So then that's how I came across NLP and what neuro-linguistic programming that affects, or that it's a study, it's a science of behavior and language, and how it can really change the way you look at things, how you can handle trauma better, you can take better decisions. And I thought, oh, okay, so this can be integrated a lot with meditation, and then I can create a package around it, and then I could make a workshop
So you started
myself.
learning NLP also first with the agenda that you how will you use it, not with look, let
Yes.
me try use it on
No,
myself first. But
no, no.
the moment you start using it, you realize that it's more about that
Yes.
first, right?
Yes. And yeah, and then after that COVID happened, I got pregnant for the second time. And then I was always wanting to go back to India, because I wanted to. It was 10 years in the Philippines, and this was my ticket, you know.
To come
This
back.
is my ticket. We came back to India and never went back. I knew I had to come back to India, or perhaps another country, to be able to leverage the skills that I was learning, because I was not getting enough opportunities there.
Mm. Which means sometimes environment also plays a very big
Absolutely.
role, right?
Absolutely.
One needs to do something to work despite that, or change your environment, or do something that helps you. Staying in the same place is not going to give you what you want.
Absolutely. So COVID happened. It was very tough 2 years for me, giving birth at an older age. My health took a toll. So it was a good 2 year gap
So
again. And
you had gained some momentum, and then again, and
yes,
which is
again,
something a lot
it's
of
like
women face, right? It's
yes,
like sometimes going to and fro, to and
yes,
fro. And when we met, you were again in a phase where you
yes,
had gone down that spiral a bit.
yes, yes. That was after the 2.5 years is when I met you.
And it was
Um,
hardly 5, 6 months ago, actually,
yes, true.
isn't it? That's when you started your rapid transformation journey.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Actually, again, it started from the fact that, I need to get financial independence. I need to be able to get that freedom to do my stuff. Then again, I asked myself, what am I supposed to do? Then okay, I've done yoga, but I was not in shape, so I couldn't teach yoga anymore. Then I said, okay, fine. Let me do that neuro-linguistic programming certification, which I wanted to do back then, 8 years
Mm.
back. And then I said, okay, maybe I should become a coach. I wanted to do this because, again, coaching is, again, teaching, right? It's
Yeah, yeah.
teaching, making an impact, making someone
One on
think
one.
in a
Yeah,
different way.
yeah.
Yeah. So I knew that this is a space I will like. So, so then I started then researching how I can start. Then I pulled some friends from here, there, Muft ka bakras. Chalo, I will help you. Come, let's do a coaching session and this and that. That's how I started. This was before I met you.
Yeah, yeah.
I knew that I'm not so skilled. I need to be more skilled.
Mm.
It was not enough that I knew to be able to, make some big transformation in someone else's life. First, I had to make transformation in my own life. It was
Mm.
coming back to that, because I had to first be, like a poster, not for a perfect life, but I need to have the abilities to be able to deal with all my own situations. Only then I will be capable enough, and
Responsible.
I will have genuine, skills to be able to transform someone else's life. So I
Wow.
knew some skills were missing. And
Mm.
I was looking for, okay, what do I do next? I had to do some more certifications. And I was going through many such, and then I saw your video. And I'll tell you where I was driving, and I put it on Bluetooth, and it was a 25-minute video. and I kept pausing it because I had to do some work, and I kept going back to it. And it was a beehive concept, I remember.
Uh-huh.
So, and then, I just love the way you had packaged this, because I was also going through some other courses. There are so many courses, how to start your own business and all of those things.
Yeah.
And they would say how you have to market your marketing. And I just found your video to be so fascinating, that you are not giving out everything in the beginning. You're making them uh, hold on so that they
Curious,
stay
yeah.
till the end, right? Otherwise,
Yeah.
who watches a 25-minute video? And you
True.
did that very successfully with me. And then I knew, okay, she's different, and because I was going through so many, so I had enough references that I could tell who I should listen to and who I shouldn't. Then again, I heard it for the second time, again on my free time, and I paid attention to everything, and I said, yeah, this is exactly what I need. These are the skills that are missing, these are my gaps. If I fulfill these gaps, then I think I'll be an excellent coach, and then I'll be able to launch my business.
Mm.
So that's how then I got in touch with you all, and the rest is history.
Yeah, but we always suggest people, like a lot of people who come to us initially and they say that I want to be a coach, and plenty of people are already coaches, right? But we never allow people to get into coaching themselves unless they have gone through the rapid transformation experience themselves. So can you tell us, according to you, what is the value of breaking through yourself? How did that help you? What were those things that were, despite wanting to be a coach, despite maybe making a little beginning, attending a few courses as well, what were the things that were holding you back as a person, and how did you break through those? What helped you break through those?
Because up until then, up until I started the workshop with you, Seema, I was I don't think I was just a very overview me. I was not in depth analyzing anything. I was
Mm.
not really analyzing myself either. I knew there were certain issues about me also. But I said, I don't have the time right now to fix this, or I don't think it's important. I would
Okay.
rather fix someone else's problems. You know what I mean? And I think,
Yeah.
and I'll be honest with you, and several coaches do this. They don't, they themselves don't have the time. It's like a cobbler will never, fix his own shoes first. He wants to fix someone else's, but
Someone
his
else's.
shoes are very dirty. So, so I knew, and so I honestly, when I started doing your workshop, took your course, it was to fix the gaps that I had, and I wanted to become a very successful coach. I wanted to make a lot of money. I was very clear why I took that course with you. However, very quickly, within 2 days of your training, I knew that there were certain things that first I need to fix about myself. um, and that happened with the first conversation that I had with you, where I told you that I'm struggling because uh, I'm not able to manage, because now I have two kids, and then I have to manage homes and this and that. And then you told me your story, and I will tell you that moment that you said that you had to come back home, and then you would gym because you knew that you needed to be healthy. It's not that
Yeah.
you wanted to be very sexy or anything like that. You knew you had to be healthy. So you would do some exercise for 10 minutes. You will tell
Yeah.
your parents that you're going to change or whatever. You will take 10 minutes, and one day you'll work on your arms, one day you'll work on your abs. 10 minutes. Then you will spend another 10 minutes, only 10 minutes, with your smaller toddler
Fun.
that time. And then you would teach him some gross motor skills, or teach him how to so that was such a big learning for me, because then you said, that's all you need, and but you have to do it consistently every day. The time, it doesn't matter, you have to give it 10 hours, you give 10 minutes, but you give good 10 minutes, but you have to do it every single day. And there were a few questions that you asked, and you asked me to pick and choose what qualities that you would need. And I think the biggest takeaway that I got from that conversation, that I had to be resourceful, and
Hmm.
that became a very important part of my vocab, because I think everything, end of the day, is about how resourceful you are, right, as a person, to be able to handle any situation, whether it is your personal life, professional life,
Yeah.
business. That's what I learned. That sometimes I might not have the luxury of time, or to rest or go out and maybe meet my friends or whatever. in spite of that, how do I still manage everything else? How do I manage my frame of mind in such a way that my big goal is clear? That's another thing. I was the goal setting exercises that you did with us, that also really took my clarity. I remember there is another uh, river of life.
Yeah.
That was a very, very eventful exercise for me, because you say, like, start to finish throughout your life, you draw certain images, because we never do that, right? I mean, life, 45 years have gone by, and you forget certain key elements that has happened in your life that has actually made you the person that you are, and sometimes you need to acknowledge it. And even the
Yes.
challenges, because those challenges have made you strong. And that exercise was so good, because I spent some time drawing those, not perfect drawing, but, and
Yeah.
then it gave me so much clarity that what is it that I really want to do in my life. What I did for the first time, I would say, see, I've done so many courses. Like you see, I have done so many certification and courses, Seema, but this was the first time I was able to incorporate, like, everything that I would learn the next few days. I could, I had the time to implement and see if it works. It was giving me evidence. So
That it works and you can make it work.
absolutely, absolutely. Everything I could see from a distance, and I could, because only when you see, if you're seeing things, that's another thing that I understood. If you see things from this close, you're not able to see anything, right?
Yes.
And then when you're able to really see it from a
Yeah.
distance, then you can actually piece it properly. And then, yeah, I think my journey has been magical. Hands down, this ability to be able to influence, because I feel it is such a powerful tool. It's like, and I learned this from you, when you say that, when you if you're not able to convince someone, or if you someone doesn't listen to you, it's because you're not saying it the right way.
Yeah.
You're not communicating it the right way. You are not saying it in a way that will convince or influence that person to make that change. So the problem is not with that person, the problem is with you, right? And then um when this opportunity to start the business came, and knowing, having no sense business acumen from before, no business experience from before, everything, I started using these small things. When I would talk to my partner or my clients or my vendors, I would change the way I spoke. I would not come from a place of doubt. I would not come from a place of insecurity. I would come with, okay, certain points I'm bringing to the table. I'm very sure about this. And I would play from that.
So
And using those things.
confidence is
Yes,
something that I saw like
yes,
kind of skyrocketed.
yes. Yes, because I just knew that, okay, otherwise it's again going to be like any other story,
Hmm.
right? If this has to take off this time, there has to be something that has to be very different in my mindset.
The truth is that when a person learns skills like, let us say, calibration, how do you read others, or rapport building, or influencing others using language patterns, subconscious influence of giving hypnotic commands. When you learn all this, one would think that, okay, I'm learning it for one purpose, like you learned it to use it as a coach, but now you are automatically using it in every area. When you're meeting new clients,
Absolutely.
you're using it. When you're, making a business deal, you are using it. You shared once.
Yes.
Right? So
Yes, yes.
these are such power skills that it makes you a
It
leader.
is.
You can use it anywhere. Even as a
It is.
mother, you probably are using it.
Absolutely, absolutely. 100% I am. As a wife, I'm using it. As a daughter, I'm using it on my parents whenever required. I've used it most on myself,
Uh,
honestly.
um, amazing.
And coming to
Very-
that you mentioned hypnosis, and when that was another prime reason that I took your workshop, because I was very fascinated with hypnotherapy. I just needed to know how it works, okay? And it was so magical learning that it is not that the pendulum thing that they do, and there's so much I understood about how voice can be used.
Yeah.
And yeah, I remember once you told me you're a good storyteller, but you need to have more structure. And all those feedbacks I've taken, and then I was able to modulate my voice whenever required, especially when I was doing different techniques, using different voice modulation, because that has an impact.
So tell me something, in your opinion, what is the important? Like, I've had a mentor all my life, right? I have looked up to certain gurus, certain mentors, and I don't think I would have been able to break through in my life and be where I am today, where I'm mentoring coaches and trainers, if not for my mentors. in your experience, what is the value of having a right mentor or coach in one's life?
Very important, because what happens is, so many times, again, we are looking at things so close. Sometimes you need perspective, and only someone who is coming from an outside view will be able to see that much better than you can. Also, another thing is, I've understood time is so precious. You have to learn to multiply time. And this is something that I'm learning. You multiply time only by spending time on something that is very important for you, which will allow you to then multiply time. So if you have a coach or a mentor or a guru who will train you with all those skills, equip you with everything else, which means you're multiplying time. Because once you have, otherwise, if you do it on your own, imagine the number of years you will take it, to do it. You'll never have structure. You will never have a keen sense of, understanding of the process. So it's extremely important in today's day and age.
It's amazing, Rajshri. I feel so proud and happy talking to you today because I've seen your journey. Like I said, when you came in itself, I had total confidence in you. I said, she is amazing. She's going to do amazing things. And I'm so glad that it has actually manifested so quickly. Like within 5 months, you went on to rapid transformation workshop, then you went on to do RTNC. And the breakthroughs have been so swift and amazing. And I can only see your, journey going upwards from here, and we'll probably keep meeting once in a while and checking with you of how you're doing and sharing your breakthrough. So thank you for coming today. Thank you for sharing
Thank you,
such
Seema.
amazing advices and sharing your journey itself. I'm sure is so inspiring that everybody who has listened to this entire video will learn so much out of you. So all the best for your social media agency. um, I'm sure that even listening to this,
Personal branding agency.
many executives will say, I want my branding done from Rajshri because she's got so much spirit, within her. And even when it comes to one-on-one coaching, I think I would vouch for your skill sets. That anybody who's going through anything that is, holding them back as people, if you're going through a struggle, reach out to Rajshri. I'm 100% sure she's going to bring about some amazing transformation in your life. So thank you, Rajshri, for joining us today and being
Thank
the
you.
first one to come on this modeling excellence show of mine. And
Thank you so much, Seema. I'm very fortunate. I'm very fortunate. I found that mentor in you, and you came at the right time. I think I was ready, and you just appeared. And I've said this to you before also. I'm so grateful, and every achievement, small, big, medium, that I record, I always say a word of thank you to you in my prayers, because it wouldn't have happened without you. So I think you are extraordinary. You're brilliant. You yourself are a source of inspiration to so many women and men out there without gender bias.
thank you,
So
God.
amazing. Thank you, Seema.
Always thank God. Thank you so much, Rajshri. I'm sure you're thoroughly enjoying and valuing all the videos I'm making for you. And if you want me to keep making such amazing videos, then subscribe to my channel and share this video with everybody who you think is going to value from this. See you in the next video.